Hey guys, IamQuinnacus here. Today we're doing my first ever reaction video. The reaction will be to a video called Top 15 True Scary Stories That Happened. So I'm not doing the full video. I don't want my first reaction video to be too long, and I'm still getting used to it, so we're gonna make it shorter, make it a little easier for me to edit, and then next time I'll make a better video. Please subscribe, let me know, give me some feedback, how to turn out, tips would be helpful. So let's just get this going. Also, it's worth mentioning, Top 15 did this video, and this video was also reacted to on Blasphemous HD's channel, which I want to do one of his since I've said in my previous videos he's what got me into this, so I'm going to start off with something he did once. Right, let's go.
All of the following stories are from the Ask Reddit post, "What's your creepiest real life story?" A link to this post is in the description below. Number 15. In a cold winter night in a remote village from Quebec, Canada, me and my two brothers were asleep. We were 1, 3, and 6 years old. In the middle of the night, someone entered our house without knocking, walked around, and was talking to himself. Our house is 2 miles from the village in a rural area. My father woke up, went to the living room, and there the guy was.
See, this is why you keep a gun in the house, because if somebody just walked in my house randomly, I would want to be able to, kill them. And two, why don't you lock your doors? Like, I don't care what's going on. No one can just walk into my house, because there's bolts on every door, plus 3 dogs. Just thought I would mention that, because that got me.
He had a car accident 1 mile from our house with his buddy who instantly died, and his scalp fell in front of his face. He was drunk and his body was frozen. He was speaking to himself, "I'm gonna die." The fact that his face was partially frozen might have saved his life, preventing him from losing too much blood. My father took him to the hospital that was 25 kilometers from our house by car. He did survive. To this day, my father is still blessed the fact that we never woke up during that night with all the noise. Number 14. Last year, a guy came to my door at 9 o'clock at night. He knocked and I got my mom and she went out to see what was up. By the way, we live in a very rural area, so visits that late are extremely uncommon and strange. The guy talked to my mom about how he was opening a business, asked whether she liked American-made products, then handed her a Clorox container as a sample. He went back to his minivan and opened it to get a vacuum cleaner when my mom saw 5 other men sitting inside. She told me to run and get the police since we didn't have a lamp.
Once again, this is why you have a gun. When I move into my own place and my girl is there and I'm not home, I will expect that if somebody knocks at the door from a van, gives her a bottle of bleach, heads back to said van where there are 5 guys waiting, I would like to know that she would grab the, shut the door, lock it, grab the gun, grab a phone, while dialing, just aiming at them. And if she feels it, just, start shooting. I'll cover. I'll say I came home and saw the whole thing. They fired first. I'll plant evidence against them. I don't care.
Line. I couldn't find it, so I got my knife and stood around the corner. She threw the container outside and told them to get the hell off her property. They peeled out of the driveway and we never saw the car again. 2 months later, my mom found a single bearded guy putting filled garbage bags by the back door. She asked him what the hell he was doing and he responded by saying, "This is for your little girl." Again, she told him to get the hell out. Then we went through the bags. They were filled with garbage, dirty clothes, and empty tampon containers. Number 13. When I was a kid,
What did they do with all the tampons? 5 guys. I don't want to ask anymore. 5 guys, a bunch of tampons. I don't want to know anymore.
I was always the last kid picked up by the bus driver to go to school. One day I was waiting for the bus by myself and a bus with no kids pulled up. The bus driver smiled and told me to hop on. I just had a bad feeling. I said, "Where are the other kids?" He said, "We will go get them now. Just get on." He got more and more pushy but didn't do anything crazy. I kept just saying no and he shrugged and left. The real bus pulled up a few minutes later. I went to school.
See, this is why I walked to school from 6th grade until I graduated. Nope. School bus pulling up, you're there alone, no kids in the bus. What was he gonna do? I don't want to know what was in the bus. Man, where did he get a bus? Where did some random guy just get a bus and drive up and it's really that easy just to get a bus and just, cruise around looking for kitties? Nah. Nope.
girl, and my parents didn't know until I mentioned it that night. Looking back, they were pretty worried. I remember them scrambling to make a few phone calls. And my apartment complex was walking distance from the bar downtown area. One weekday night, I stepped out on my front porch to smoke a cigarette or two. I brought my textbook with me and sat down on the stairs while I smoked. A girl who I had never met but who lived one apartment over but down on the ground floor came home from downtown. She was by herself, and you could tell from her walk that she had been drinking. She got in her apartment and barely closed the door before some guy who came out of nowhere knocked on her door. She opened it, and I noticed he introduced himself, which was kind of weird because it was 2:30 a.m. Who comes to a strange girl's apartment at that time? So I decided to stay outside and pay attention. They ended up...
Nope. Baseball bat. Baseball bat by my door. Don't get a gun. It's not that serious, and you will get in trouble if you just randomly grab a gun because of some guy. Baseball bat. Right over there by my door. Right over there. I wake up. Door's locked. As I'm opening the door, bat in hand. Yeah, creepy guy following a girl. You grab bat and you follow. Pursue. And you tell creepy guy, come back at another time when there's light outside and she's not drunk off her ass. Just me, though.
Talking for over 10 minutes. She acknowledged how weird the situation was but didn't know how to end the conversation. He would do the creepiest things, like how he reached up and stroked her hair at least 3 times and would try and slowly inch his way closer to her and the door. I made a point of being loud with my textbook so he would know I was there, and he had disappeared as eerily as he had come. We called the cops, and days later they had the girl and me sit with a sketch artist. As soon as the sketch was made public, floods of calls came in. Guy turned out to be a serial rapist who had followed lone girls home from bars and pretended to...
Scratch what I said last. You lead with the gun. Nope. Serial rapist, not funny. Maybe I didn't say lead with a gun because I'm out here and I grew up in Philly, but out here in the more countryside, I don't really, there's not too many rapists around, but yeah, scratch what I said. You lead with the gun and just lie. When the cops show up, I had no gun. Nope. It was a water pistol. I was just trying to scare him. I just painted it black to scare him off. Nope, no gun. I don't even know what a gun is. And then the guy goes away, and the girl doesn't get raped.
Be a cab offering them rides. This girl got lucky just because she lived so close to the bar and he didn't have a chance to pull the cab routine. Number 10. Went camping with some friends on a hill a few kilometers out in the woods from one of the guys' houses. There's a few hiking / four-wheeling trails in the area that lead up to the hill, so it's known by the locals. It was about midnight. We had a fire going and was just sitting around having a good time. Then the guy, sitting opposite of me, yells, "Who are you?" I turn around and there's this man about 6 feet tall staring at us from the edge of the woods with a big rock in his hand. One guy knocked an arrow in the composite bow we had. The guy across from me grabbed the hatchet and I pulled a knife off my belt. We had no clue what we were doing, but the guy wouldn't say anything to us. He eventually just backed into the woods. No sleep was had that night and we kept a very large fire going. Number 9. I was in Minot, North Dakota with my old band. Our tour van blew a head gasket and we were stuck there for a few days. Everyone was tired on day 2, but I was wide awake. I walk for a bit and make it to some scummy bar. I'm obviously not from around there and no one is saying a word to me. After 2 beers, I start to get a tad nauseous and dizzy. I put my head on my hand and try to let it pass, but it keeps getting worse. Suddenly a voice says, "You'll feel pain tonight." I jump and look up, and a tall, rough...
No, I will not feel pain tonight. You will feel pain from my gun, which again, I turned 21 very shortly, like end of December, a few months away. Always will be carrying. Don't care where I am. I don't care if I'm at church. I'm always having my gun. Some guy whispers in my ear, I'm going to feel pain while I'm dizzy. No, I'm not even going to warn. I'm just going to start firing. Just start firing. And then leave. Not getting... IamQuinnacus is not getting raped. Nope. No thank you.
40-year-old man is walking to the bathroom, turns back and glances at me. I call my friends and get the fuck out of there. I slept for 12 to 13 hours and felt awful and loopy the next day. I was roofied. Number 8. This is the first of 2 instances. First, I was alone in the basement playing GTA 4 with my friends on my PC. It gets to about 1 a.m. and we're having a blast, shooting RPGs and throwing grenades willy-nilly. Then I hear a sound that doesn't really fit with GTA. I figure it's not coming from my headset, so I take it off. The sound that's being made is coming from an old music box that we have. The last time it was used was probably 10 years ago, and this thing is just full on blaring its song. I start chanting no 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 and book it upstairs, leaving my friend on Skype pretty confused. My mom and
Get the
dad are
gun.
coming down from their room.
No.
My dad is equipped with a baseball bat, and as you can imagine, it's hard to explain to him that it was not an intruder. My second instance was in the same basement. Now my basement has a main area, which most of our furnishings are. Then there's this unfinished part of the basement where I'm sure the spirits dwell, but I digress. Anyway, this time I'm playing GTA 4 again with the same friend. It's about 1 a.m. and we decide to call it a night. It's at that point that I hear da 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 in a little girl's voice from the bowels of the unfinished part of the basement. Now it's pitch black around me except for my island of salvation at my computer. At this point I'm so fucking done with the ghost that I say fuck it, fine, have the basement, and go upstairs and go to bed. There's a couple more instances of spooky ghosts, but not as scary.
He is now giving them the power of the basement. I live in a basement. No ghosts taking over here. And if ghosts start moving around, you get a priest, you get a rabbi, a minister, I don't care what. You have them bless the shit out of the house. And if they persist after that and some little girl's trying to talk to me who's not here no more, I'm moving. Packing my bags. I'm going to sell the house. I'm going to go live outside in the woods and wait for the house to sell and then, get a new house. But nope, I live in the woods. I'm not living around with haunted, creepy girls. Nope.
Scary as these two. Number 7. I live in Sydney, Australia, and this was probably just over a year ago. I was driving with my girlfriend back to my home after going out for dinner at a friend's house, which is about 15 minutes away from my area called Watson's Bay. To get back to my place, you need to drive down into the valley near the harbor down a long winding main road that progressively takes you down to the water. It's about 1:30 or 2 a.m. and we're making our ways down the road and not really paying much attention. And she suddenly grabs my arm and gasps, which freaks me out already. As I'm looking around to see what the fuck is going on, we approach the roundabout and there's a man in medical looking attire next to a woman in what looks like white pajamas with blood covering a lot of her clothing. Now obviously my balls drop and instincts kick in as I speed up. It's quite a small roundabout, so you need to either slow down enough to turn left or speed up and get the fuck straight out of there. I go straight, and as we pass, the woman attempts to launch herself at my car as the man looks like he was trying to stop her. We get home about 3 or 4 minutes later and we're both shaken and basically scared shitless. Called the police to inform them of what we saw and just got a call back the next morning explaining how a woman had somehow run away from a mental home and was attempting to commit suicide using sharp objects and running onto main roads. The man was one of the first workers who knew her on the scene, and apparently they managed to bring her back to where she lived. Heard nothing more after that. Number 6. We were partying.
I'm going to cut the video here. This is just a lot for me to edit and go through it all. So I'm going to start with this and hopefully get better, and then the next video will be a little longer. But yeah, everybody just tell your friends, whatever, subscribe. Once I hit 10 subscribers, I'm going to do a video, short one, just tell you a little bit more about me. I'll show you everywhere I live, get to meet my dog who's around here somewhere. Yeah, so hope you enjoy the video. I'm going to spend the next few hours editing this and getting it all ready, because I'm beyond just a beginner. I'm way under beginner mark. I haven't even earned that title yet. So I'm going to probably end up watching the rest of this and having nightmares all night, which will be fun. So I'm Quinnicus, and I will see you guys later. Enjoy.